daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong live for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to another Finance Friday on Wealth Coffee Chat. Let's start with our Friday jokes. So, why did the goalkeeper have so much money in the bank? Because they are really good at saving. Good evening, Kevin. Thanks for joining us. So, today's conversation I want to have is, what are we doing to pay off our home faster? Now, everybody is expecting for rates not to actually come down until 2025. And in the meantime, cost of living, inflation is really high at the moment. So while I guess the economy is waiting for the interest rates to be dropped, what are we doing to actually look at how to pay off our home faster? Thanks for joining us, Luke. I've actually had a few clients have some interesting ways that they've purchased their home. I had a client who, when I was going through their financial situation, their family had come together and actually purchased property for each other. So basically the scenario is one of the brothers, actually the scenario is, if me and my brother were to explore this, it would be the case where I would purchase an investment property and the person who's renting the property would be my brother and his family. And he would purchase an investment property and me and my family would rent it off him. So as you can see, in that situation, we are starting to rent vest. The rent vest is basically a scenario where you're building up your investment property while you're renting, but you're renting from a family member. So as long as your family stays close, there is no likelihood of being kicked out of your rental home. I haven't spoken to them in regards to what happens when the property's paid off, but in my client's situation, they continued living in that property. Now, there are some, downsides in regards that, we don't get the opportunity to explore the benefits of upgrading our principal place of residence, our home. But yeah, that is actually quite a unique strategy to get into the property market, have your home, but it not technically being your home. Again, when things get messy within families, it could not work out. But if your family is really close, then that is actually a really great strategy. I recently actually spoke to another client of mine who recently purchased their home, but they're now looking at moving out of that property and moving into and renting. Now, again, this scenario is quite unique, and not everybody has the opportunity to do this, but they're moving for work. So their work is actually paying for their cost of living and their rent while they're working for this company. So as you can see, they're looking at renting their existing property, and that is going to be helping. That's going to help them pay off their home faster as well. Morning, Brad. Thanks for joining. So yeah, it's there are a couple of unique ways that I've seen my clients be able to own their own, so own the property that they're living in, but in some unique situations. Look, the best way for us to pay off our home faster is to look at the reducing how much interest we're actually paying on the loan. And there is two ways for us to be able to do that. The first way is negotiating the interest rate, and obviously finding lenders who are going to give you the best rate for your home loan. Now, over the last couple of years, refinancing has had its challenges, with banks increasing what they call their buffer rate. So it's not the actual interest rate that you're looking at paying on the loan, but a buffer rate, which is between 2.5% to 3% higher. A lot of lenders will be looking at that in order to determine whether you can afford the loan. What happens there is that you now have to show that you can service the loan at a higher rate, even though you're only refinancing the existing loan amount. So it is a great opportunity to have a conversation with your brokers to find out which lenders out there have actually reduced their buffer rate for refinancing loan scenarios. So if you're only looking at refinancing, then we have some lenders who will just have a buffer of 1%, which makes it a lot easier to be able to refinance to those lenders. Obviously, the other one is negotiating the existing interest rate with your existing lender. Again, have a talk to your broker about how to request that. Also, pick up the phone, have a conversation with your lender. One of the tips that I've shared previously is, if they aren't offering what's available in the market, have a conversation with their retention team. Request a discharge form and have a conversation with the retention team, and you might find that you get some results by talking to that part of the business. The second way to reduce the interest rate is using either the redraw or the offset. Now, the goal here is to keep as much money in the redraw for as long as possible. So, how do you manage your family spending while trying to keep as much money in your offset as possible? And there are a few ways to do that. But the more money you keep in the offset, the more interest gets reduced on your loan, which means that every time you make a repayment, you pay more into the loan. And without making any changes to the actual repayments, you'll get a huge, you actually end up paying off your home a lot faster. The other thing is bonuses, tax returns. When you do your taxes and you get a refund, park that money in your offset account. If you're saving for your kids, have that as an offset against your home loan. As much money as you're parking elsewhere, use the offset account. And if your current lender doesn't have, so if your current lender doesn't offer multiple offset accounts, use a spreadsheet. Track the money that's coming in and out, so you know what each, how much money is in there and what the purpose of it is. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. That those are the two ways to reduce the interest that you're paying on the loan, and by reducing the interest you increase how much you're paying off the balance, which will accelerate how fast you pay off your home. Just some quick information in regards to some of the things that I've seen happening with the banks at the moment. One of the things we've noticed, especially in the last couple of months, is that the 2-year fixed rate has been dropping for most of the lenders. What that means is basically the lenders are seeing that the interest rates are coming down, and we are expecting rate cuts. This is probably the first time I've seen fixed rates lower than variable rates for quite some time. So that's obviously a great indication of what's happening in the future, what we're expecting to happen to interest rates going forward. But again, at this particular time, we also want to make sure that we manage to get through the high inflation, the high cost of living at the moment. We've had Macquarie who have stopped lending to expats. So previously we were able to help clients who are living overseas be able to purchase property within Australia. Macquarie stopped that. So not great news for those who are actually living overseas and looking to invest here in Australia. But in saying that, no, obviously there are other lenders out there who will still be able to look at those type of clients. So reach out to your lenders, reach out to your brokers and have a chat to them. And lastly, what I found really interesting, which is good, which will help investment property owners, is that private health and investment property expenses are included in HEMS. Now, this is not every lender, but as you can imagine, those who have a few investment properties, in the past, currently right now, there are a lot of lenders who include the investment property expenses as above HEMS. So HEMS is what the banks will use as a minimum living expense, which means based on your income, how many people in your family, they determine what your minimum living expenses are. And in the past, not in the past, some lenders at the moment look at private health and investment property as not included in the essential cost of living, which is HEMS for most of the lenders. So being able to add private health and investment property expenses into HEM will dramatically increase how much you can actually borrow, because your living expenses will have been decreased. And so those with high investment properties, a few investment properties can take advantage of this particular lender, which is A&P, and work out how much more they can borrow because of this adjustment to HEMS and these expenses. Right, that's it for today. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend. Like and subscribe, and I look forward to catching up with you all next week. Have a great day, guys.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6 Star team here at positivementor.com.au.